Gamescom 2022 is going to be happening pretty soon, August 21st to the 25th actually next month in Germany. Now Nintendo's not going to be coming to Gamescom 2024, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any Nintendo Switch games there. There could always be third party, there also could be indie games for the Nintendo Switch and games that later on would come to the Nintendo Switch, especially when you factor in the Nintendo Switch 2 and, on the rumors anyways, more powerful than the current Nintendo Switch, so obviously more games are going to be coming to that. Especially since a lot of developers didn't support the current Nintendo Switch in the beginning, and I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the butt for that. So I'm sure once that Nintendo Switch 2 drops, they're going to be like, wow, this is a gold mine of new players for our game. So they're probably going to put their games on it. The Nintendo Switch 2 versions too. But one company that I think is going to be very interesting to see how it turns out, especially with the past Pokemon games and how those were. All the problems that they have, from graphics to frame rate to some games just not being good in my opinion. All of those things, it's going to be interesting to see what the new Pokemon game is like, especially since it looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty fun game. We haven't seen gameplay yet, but on the promise and the idea of it, it looks like it's going to be a good time. But I think one thing that we've all wondered is, when are we going to see more from this game? Now, usually we do see more from a Pokemon game in a Pokemon Presents. That's usually when it is. But we might actually see something from Pokemon ZA very, very soon. I mean, it's either that or some new Pokemon game is going to be announced, or it's going to be some kind of side content for their mobile games. This is what Nintendo Life has to say. Gamescom will take place in Germany next month, and although Nintendo won't be attending to the event, it seems the Pokemon Company will feature as one of the lineup highlights between 21st and the 25th of August 2024. A spokesperson previously mentioned in April how Nintendo wouldn't attend this year's event. This was followed by an official confirmation in May that the Switch successor announcement would be made within this fiscal year. And that ends in March, of course, so that's why I'm kind of throwing around the idea that maybe we won't have that announcement in September. Maybe Nintendo's going to use September to flesh out even more games and have a really strong lineup for that Nintendo Switch 2 launch. Now, as far as we're aware, Pokemon ZA is the game that Game Freak is working on, so I think there's a possibility that we could see some news from that game at that Gamescom event. And if we do, of course, we'll cover it on the show, so make sure you're subscribed.